Hey guys, welcome to the Asking Us Show, episode number 46. And today I'm going to be talking about what your SEO should have told you before starting your SEO campaign. Stick around. Is going to be something that's very personal to me and something that I believe is ridiculously important for growing businesses online today, and my philosophy and ideology around that. So, has your SEO explained to you about the importance of strong leadership when you take on a new client? For me and Remiki Digital, one thing we're big on is making sure that the clients that we take on board, that they have the leadership we believe in to get to the next level. There's a famous quote that says, how I got to where I am today is not going to take me to where I want to go in the future. Things change, things evolve, things adapt, and you just have to have a leadership team that's behind you from a digital marketing perspective and ready to change things because they believe in you. If you don't believe in your digital team as an executive, as an owner, well, that's a big issue, right? You need to start believing in your team or get another team. If my clients don't believe in me, they need to get another team. There's just no way around that. This is too important. And one of the things that I'm charged and motivated by is that my dad was in business for 18 years as a toolmaker, and he lasted 18 years as a toolmaker because I truly believed he was the best toolmaker in Australia, right? Of course, that's biased, but he had no marketing, he had no branding, and eventually that would be the end of his, eventually would put him out of business. All right, because eventually it just went on and on and on, and the importance of being online and digital wasn't so important maybe in 92 and 93 when he started, but then as you go towards 97, 98, a sales and marketing team was paramount to his growth long term, and he didn't have it. Now, as a toolmaker, he was absolutely awesome. But as a sales guy, as someone that knew about branding and marketing, he just wasn't his skill set. And so I'm electronically positively charged like a proton to make sure that I get this message out there. And I've been thinking about it, and I've sort of been waiting for the right episode, the right time to sort of unleash what I'm about to say to you. If you don't have a digital team that is evolving and adapting to what the ultimate king is, which is user behavior and user experience, then you are at a massive detriment, because you need to have a team that has your best interest at heart, not just right now, but for what's coming in the future. And one of the areas that whether they'll believe in you as an SEO, and this I'm also talking to the SEOs, make sure you take on the clients that are fully behind you, because if you don't, you're going to run into problems. One of the key things I've found to be absolutely critical is when you start telling clients, hey, we're going to have to change this part of what we do. We're going to need to invest more in content. We're going to need to start thinking about ourselves differently. We need to start doing X, Y, Z, and whether they do it or not, it really comes down to, one, do they believe in what you're saying? Are you explaining it? Are you articulating it? Are you putting it down? And then it just comes down to whether they want to do it because they trust you or they don't. And this can have a big bearing on whether you get results or not. And it's a leadership thing, and it's a digital marketing team. And I'm just not going to just focus on SEO, because SEO is a big part of it, but it's not just SEO. It's a whole philosophy of changing what needs to be changed, trying new things and adapting new things. Because if you don't have a mega strong content strategy on what you're doing or what you're sort of trying to get out, like your business, what is it actually producing? If you don't have an in-depth, detailed content marketing strategy, well, you're sort of just behind, right? And as we go along more in in the future, this is going to be just more and more important. Like with my dad, it was just more and more important that he would have something in concrete, have a marketing and a sales plan. And he just didn't have that. And so over time, it got more important as the world around him changed, but his business methods and strategies to get new business didn't change. And this is why that same sort of idea is why I'm like a pit bull off its leash when I'm talking to clients about content. And they all produce a good amount of content for the most part. But you know what? When they come to me and they say, we want to target these goals, we want to take on these new challenges, and we want to start doing this and that, and how can we grow an extra 40 or 50, 60, 70%, comes back to the same thing, content. And look, with SEO specifically, there's a whole lot of strategies around the link outreach. There's a lot of micro level details that matter and help. I've talked about like link outreach, link building is more link relationship building, but just trying to step away from the micro for a minute and just chat about what's really, really important on the macro. And because changing a client's mind of, because what you'll run into is, I don't know whether that's the right move for us, or we've never seen Twitter work for us, we're not going to really use it, or we've never done a content campaign around this. That sort of thinking is really, really problematic. Not everything the SEO says is right, or the digital marketing team says is right, but if it doesn't cross any ethical or moral borders, it needs to be tried and tested. Okay, you need to start doing things and getting to a mindset of what can we try now? What's next? We're doing this. And I met a criminal defense lawyer not so long ago, and he's putting out one piece of content a day. He's told me he doesn't care about links. He's just putting content out. He's grown, I don't know if I can share his details, I won't, but he's got a lot of traffic for someone that doesn't emphasize a lot on links. And I'm not even saying that's the right thing to do, and I've actually told him he needs to have a link strategy, but the point is, he's just so focused on getting content out. He's like, I just don't want anyone to write content for me. I'm looking for an SEO that's going to actually help me come up with amazing ideas to write about. And I liked that thinking, because that sort of thinking is, there is actually going to be no one out there that's actually going to help me deliver or create me the best possible content other than someone who's really passionate about what they do. That's me. I just need an SEO team to support me and support the strategy. And I thought actually that was a really amazing mindset. It's probably the first client that I've actually really sort of sat down with that said, it blew me off the chair, that I don't want to focus on some dodgy link building. I just want to focus on producing the best possible content. But I did have a recommendation that you need to sort of have a link strategy in mind. We need to do some sort of outreach. You have to do that. Now, he didn't sign up for whatever reason, but I do believe that he's on the right track. And that sort of mindset was really awesome. He's pumping out like a blog article a day, and it's really refreshing to see. So when you start trying to change clients' minds about the importance of content, it's really difficult to do. And their ideas and understanding about that is really, really important. But it really starts at the leadership. Working with a business or a client that isn't strong and not strong as in the sense of physical strength or whatever, but isn't necessarily really like a natural entrepreneur, and someone that's really has that go-getting, fire in the belly sort of attitude towards their business, it's just not really great. And one example, and it still really frustrates me to no end, and I really like this person, I really do. Like personal, it's fine, but we got these results about 3 years ago for a client in the hospitality industry, and we're doing really, really well. I got so behind the campaign, I believed in the campaign, and we got results. The results were there, and I actually said we're not going to achieve anything less than 12 months. And in fact, we actually did get results less than 12 months. We got results in half the time. But the point was, he couldn't manage all the orders. He couldn't manage. He's a really good at what he did on a day-to-day level, but as actually running the business, it's a different skill, right? And so it's so frustrating because I really enjoy working on that campaign. I really like him on a personal level, but he couldn't manage the order. So what he did, eventually he ended up closing the whole business. Now, to be fair to him, he had some personal issues, and I totally get that. Like, these things happen in life, but he just closed the business. And it's like, oh man, I really got to get better, not just at finding, okay, I like this client, we know we feel like we click, we get results, blah, blah, blah. But I really and I'm really being stringent on this now. I don't care anymore. That clients are gonna have to start to talk to us and convince us that we should take them on from a point of view that they're actually really awesome business leaders. Because if they're not, we just don't want, I as the owner of the business, I don't want any part with it. I really don't, because, you know, that whole thing with that client in the hospitality industry is a reminder. My dad is a reminder that you need an awesome digital team, and they're accountable for achieving results. No question. Then you've got the leadership and the entrepreneur team that's accountable to make sure that what you recommend gets done and implemented, and they believe in it, so then they can hold you accountable. Because if they don't trust you enough to do the work, how can they possibly hold you accountable for something that you have no control over? And so this is sort of the mechanics we're finding. And the best clients that I've been working with are the ones that just want to just get it done. Like, Andrew, just give me a recommendation, What can we do? What can we try? And sometimes, look, as a marketer, we get things wrong. I mean, that's not what I'm trying to say. We don't have necessarily the magic formula. Like, we all make mistakes. Like, that just happens. It's human nature. But the problem is when you start running into roadblocks where the business is growing and you want to work with this client long term, but for whatever reason, they don't have necessarily the entrepreneur skills to get that business to the next step. And whether the leadership team I've found is just I would rather have an awesome leader and have average everyday SEO Joes working on the site, right? I think if they don't do anything dodgy and they focus just on the on page or just focus on just what every average SEO knows, with a really good leader, there will be some sort of results happening. Now, is it going to be as good as having a better digital team? Look, whatever, right? It can be mixed and matched. But the point is that it's really necessary to have someone that gets behind you and believes in what you're doing. Because if you don't, it's going to fall over. So the next thing that I want to spend the next 3 minutes on is just reminding everybody how important content actually is. And it's foundational. It's the required step. And I just did a Q&A on my computer now, because I was speaking with also not too long ago, a property investor, and he doesn't know what to talk about. And I'm saying, I know what you can talk about. Here's how you find out what to talk about. Go to Google, type in property investment tips, look at the people also ask section, take some ideas, start talking about it. Go on to YouTube, see what property investment people are talking about, see what articles people are responding to, look at the comments, like, figure it out, okay? Again, like, it's sort of, we won't work with clients unless they have an emphasis that they know that content is not just necessary, but it's going to be the water that sustains and brings life to their business and growth. And without content, without the water, we're not going to grow. And people that say, I create a lot of content and I'm not getting the results that I want. So there's an element of obviously being patient with the content. Then there's making sure that this content, that's what people actually, like your target market, really want and find valuable. And when you're like the lawyer that's putting out a blog post a day, the amount of traffic he has is really, really impressive. It's awesome. And it's a really good mindset that I want to bang on again towards the end of the video. So if you don't, as a business, have a really rich understanding of content and really put content at the forefront of everything that you do, like, it's not just like, content is what people are going to relate. They're going to, that's the communication that you're sending out to get people to know who you are and build trust with you. Don't just always have the content that's the ad. Have the content that's the show, the story, what people are coming to watch. Because a lot of the time, especially in social media, and especially sometimes in the blog posts and things like that, the content is really just the ad. It's 1,000 words of ad, right? It's we're awesome, we're awesome, we're awesome. That's basically what it is, and rewritten for about 1,000 words. Okay? Rather than say you're awesome, demonstrate your knowledge, demonstrate your passion, demonstrate what you're actually going to bring, what value are you going to bring, and then see where that goes. And like, I better cut it off there, but really, if you don't understand the importance and the nature of what content can do, and understand that your SEO, if your SEO isn't telling you, hey, we have to figure out what sort of leaders you are as running the business, figuring that out, because that's really essential, and then having an idea that they're thinking about your, not just what's important right now, but thinking about the future. I mean, that for me, in my opinion, is problematic. So you know what, I better leave it there. I can just keep talking about it. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you've got any questions, please let me know in the comment box below. Please subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Please leave a thoughtful comment below, because thoughtful comments is just something how I can improve and learn from what you have to say about the article or about the video. And I look forward to speaking with you in the next video.